Post that, we will also look around how to, there will always be chances that not all the calculations which is required for publishing financial results like balance sheets, cash flows, P&L or consolidation can be performed by the system-defined logics. You might have to rewrite some of the system-defined logics into your own way, the way the organization wants. So that option, we call it as a calculation manager or a business rules. So that aspect we will also be looking at. Mostly this calculation logics are being used in the, when you are writing the consolidation rules, because the way company consolidates the data, it varies from different organization to organization. That aspect we will cover. Along with that, we will also cover the currency exchange rates, how the currency exchange rate can be can affect the application, how does that particular thing we need to take care while working on the application. So these are the few critical aspects which we'll be covering along with the course line. So now if you can see my screen, I have designed this course basically when we do a full day training, it is an 8-hour training, so it goes for 8 hours into 5 days, so it becomes 40 hours training. So since we will be having an hourly session, so you can imagine that day 1, day 2, how day 1 and day 2, day 3 will go on. Per hour you can say 1 or 2 presentations along with some question answers, quiz, flash demos, and then questions which you can have it. So starting will be our, you can see as introduction to the financial management, where we'll speak about the introduction part, which we are doing it currently. Along with that, we will also work on how to navigate to the financial management. Means that when you log in onto the HFM window, HFMS system, what are the different options you will have, how you will log in, how you will create users, how you will create the other aspects. Along with that, then we will move down to the creation of the application structure. Means that from this part onwards, this section onwards, we will be mostly focusing on how to create the application. What are the key aspects of the creation of the application? How do we do it? So we will be working on a managing application with performance management architect, where we will be focusing more on performance management architect, and we will be allowed to create the applications. What are the aspects of key critical elements of the application creation? What are the things which will be required to be created on the applications? Those things we will discuss. Post that, we will be working on how to load metadata. Means that when we are working on the application for the start, we have to load the metadata, we have to load the data onto the system, and for the first time it can maybe a huge volume of data. So how to take care of the same, what we do is that we do a bulk loading. So that bulk loading, we call it as a metadata. We will see what are the, later on we will also speak about what are the key critical elements of the metadata and how does it gets defined. Post that, we will see in lesson 5 as how to create the applications, what is the starting point for the creation of the application, what are the different steps involved, how we do it, what are the application settings, what are the global settings, what are the key parameters, how to create user access and all that. We will be working on that. Then after that, we will start working on the different dimensions. HFM has got around 8 system-defined dimensions and 4 custom-defined dimensions. So we will be focusing on both the types of dimensions. When we talk about 8 system-defined dimensions, it will have accounts.
Hello.
It will have accounts. It will have entity. It will have around, hello?
Yes, Sumit, go ahead.
Hello? Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, so we'll talk about what are the account, what is the account dimension, what are the account dimension members we can have, what are the properties of that. Along with that, on the similar pattern, we will speak about the entities, calendars, scenarios. Here, calendar means your financial years, how we define the financial years. Scenario means whether we are working, sorry, whether we are working on the actual scenario, budgeted scenario, or planned scenario, or whatever. Then post that, once we are through with these dimensions, we will see how to deploy the application, which is very much critical. Unless until we don't deploy the application is not available to the end users for performing their activities or viewing the financial results. That part we will be working on as a section, which is I define it as an application structure. Then we will move down. Creating an application will not resolve your problem. You have to focus on adding data to your application also. So once the application is ready deployed, now it's time to add data onto the system. Sorry. So we will work on how to load data, how to enter load data. Means there can be bulk load from the different source systems in the form of a direct through the ETL process. I believe you understand ETL process or not?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, fine. So ETL process, or it can be through that file. Depends upon how the organization wants to share the data with the development team, or as the contract is supposed to be. Then are not available in any of the systems, that data needs to be entered using the data grids. So for that also we have to work on the data grids, and we have to create the data grids to enter those data in the system. That also we'll speak about in this section. Apart from that, we'll work on the calculation manager and the member list. Here, when I say about the member list, there are always certain set of dimension members or dimensions which will be going to be utilized very frequently in the entire application, whether when you are creating the views or when you are creating the data forms or data grids. So what we do, we create a member list using those things, so that rather than selecting each of the dimension members out of the 1,000 or 2,000 dimension members available in the system, what we do, we call those member lists and we utilize those things, which is nothing but it gives me a flexibility, and it saves my time, and system also becomes robust because of this. Then we will talk about the business manager or all that. This is something where we speak on the calculation logics. How does we do it? What we do it? Reason being is that most of the logic works on the by default logics which are built in the HFM system is based on the aggregation logic. Sometimes what happens that aggregation logic which is inbuilt in the system is not sufficient enough to calculate certain set of logics. So what we propose, or what we try to do, we try to write down certain business rules or logics or concepts and post it onto the system, so that and attach to some data form, data grids, journals, or consolidation process, so that when we execute those processes, those calculation logics also get executed, and we are able in a position to make sure that the effect of that gets rewritten onto the system, and we get those values quickly. So this is about the creating rules with the calculation manager. Now I'm going for post that we will be working on your journal entries. First we will be working on the setting of the security, where we'll talk about adding users, groups, assigning data and documents. Means that the moment we work on application is ready, it is deployed, data is there, now it's time to add users and groups and provide them access in the system. So we will in the lesson number 13 we will see how to add users and groups into the system. Then post that in lesson number 14 we will see how the moment user and groups have been defined, how we will be assigning those users or groups with a set of data, documents or views or grids or data forms, so that we should be able to give them an access to the system. So that is where we will talk about the lesson number 14. Without these things, users will not be able to work on the system. And another section where we'll talk about data forms and workspaces, where mostly and primarily we'll only touch the how to create data forms, how to utilize data forms, what are the different options we have. In the data form, what are the view part, we will be discussing into that. Then we will talk about creating a task list. Task list means
agenda. Can we go
here
through the day one session?
Okay, fine. So now day one session, the lesson objective is that we have to work on we will try to understand here that the Oracle, what is Oracle Enterprise Performance Management System, what are the different products bundled with the financial management, and the features of the financial management, along with the product architecture of the financial management, and some of the related products with the Hyperion, which will be using it and day in and day out when it comes to the system.
Okay.
So if you look at the current diagram which is on your screen, which we call it as Oracle Enterprise, the first question was that what is Oracle Enterprise Performance Management System? So the Oracle Enterprise Performance Management System is something where we have around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. So the bottom the bottommost diagram or the block is nothing but the different source systems through which your enterprise performance management system or HFM will be fetching data to produce the financial results or the financial dashboards or financial performance management system. So what we do, we will be pulling data into the system and we will be storing it into the Fusion middleware. And there is another layer of business foundation, which is where our intelligence logics or intelligence formulas or logics or inbuilt system logics will be stored. Then on top of that, you can see two boxes. One is the performance management applications and the other is the BI applications. So under the performance management applications, your financial management, planning, strategic finance, performance management, performance scorecard, or any of the Hyperion products which you name it will be sitting in the performance management applications. So based on the business intelligence foundation layer, the financial management application is sitting in the performance management application block will be fetching data to view it. Then the next question you can have it is what is the BI application and for what purpose it is being utilized over here. The BI applications is being utilized over here to do a deep down analysis of the data which is there either in the HFM system or which is there in the database, and by looking at a higher level of performance dashboards or performance numbers, and I'm not able to get the correct information or the correct view, then in that case I need to drill it down and see what are the root cause of those pain areas or those problem areas or those underperformed areas. So therein BI application will be playing a crucial role. So that's where these two blocks are sitting in parallel, because they will be working in parallel to each other to help each other to make sure that the user gets the right value and the user is able to perform the right activities when it comes. On top of that, you can see the EPM workspace. The EPM workspace wherein users will be sitting, users will be accessing the system either through the workspace, either through the desktop-based system or through the Excel-based add-in, which is we call it as here as a smart view. So this is an overall picture of the Oracle Enterprise Performance Management System. You have any questions here?
Just want to understand what is that business intelligence foundation actually.
See, what will happen here is that I have on top of that a performance management application block and BI application block, but these two blocks are storing only the different types of application which you are using it for your either for a BI analysis or for financial performance management system, where is that HFM, let's say, in the performance management application. So now BI foundation will help me to fetch the data, to analyze the data, which will help BI applications as well as the financial management application to analyze the data, to fetch the data, to drill it down, to make sure that the users are able to get the logical data and they are able to view it in logical manner with to have their better understanding of the data and to have their analysis done in the right fashion to find out.
Is it a database or the configuration layer which is required minimum to run the performance management application?
It's not a configuration. You need not to worry about that because this configuration we will not be doing it. It's automatic. It's built in along with the HFM when you install it or when you start using it. So configuration part, as far as is concerned, we will be mostly working on the Hyperion applications layer, which is a performance management application layer, or any of the FR of financial reporting or BI application which you are utilizing it. So as a user, you will be working mostly on those two blocks.
Okay. So one more thing is this Fusion middleware came recently. I mean, recently means recent couple of years only, right? Is it mandatory that HSM will work only with the Fusion middleware?
Yes, nowadays it works a lot. These are the things which you need not worry about that because these are things you just inbuilt already in the system. You start working on the system.
No, Fusion middleware is mostly for the transferring of data from external.
You have to work on that. So that's sorry. Please
Okay,
go ahead.
Fine. Go ahead, Sumit. Yeah.
Okay. So that's about EPM workspace, wherein that's about the EPM workspace. Then So that's about EPM workspace. Then post that hello.
Yes, yes, Sumit, I am with you.
Okay. No, I think I lost it something here. This is something, it's giving me a problem, my eye
Okay.
today. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hi. Hi, Sumit. Yeah.
Hi, just a second. My eye is again started giving me a problem. From the morning it is getting crashed quickly.
Oh, okay.
So that's the reason I got logged in very late. I need to get it rectified, but I'm not. I need to install it. Something I have done today. So is it, in the meantime, I'll ask you one question. Do you have, is it the only time you have available with you?
It's a better time actually because PST now it's 7:30 only.
Okay. And the
Okay.
night time?
So do you have any concerns on the time?
No, actually, I just had one thing that if possible, either we move it from 7:30 to 8:30 or 7 to 8. That's it. Nothing constant like that.
No. Yeah, I can have it a little bit late, not to the not
Sorry.
early.
Not early. Okay. No, little bit late is not. Then 8 to 9 is fine. Or what about your morning time? I believe this is your evening time, right?
Now for me 7:30 p.m. So anytime
Huh.
after 7 p.m. for me is fine.
Okay, so you want this time only. So then it's okay. Then 8 to 9 is fine. And do you have any constant with the weekends or weekdays? No, or you can have 7
I have
days
no
a week.
issue. I have no issue.
Okay.
But if there is
Usually,
anything, I will let you know. That is not a big thing.
okay, that is okay. One on one's kind of one day in a once in time is okay. That's not a problem. I just ask you because most of the people from your side part of the world, they prefer not to have classes on the weekend. That's why I ask you.
No, that's fine. 1 hour is fine. But only thing during the month end, I might be fully occupied for the close activities. So that point of time,
It's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. So I don't know what to tell you now. It's not working for me. Just a second, I'll try it again by closing it and opening again. Okay. Miss, I ask you because most of the people who come for the training online, they will prefer and say, they will prefer and tell me that I don't want to have classes in the night or on the weekends. So that's the reason I asked.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to again look at the things for you. It should work now again. So currently you're working on the Hyperion thing. Sorry, not Hyperion, Oracle products.
Yes, Oracle. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we were here. So we completed this slide. So moving down to the next slide, which is here here we have spoken about the Oracle Enterprise Performance Management System, or sometime in the world of Hyperion, we also use this term as EPMA. So you should not get confused what is EPMA or what is Oracle Enterprise Performance Management System. Both are same thing. So moving down to the next slide, here we will speak about more of the what are the Oracle Hyperion product components, what are the different components which are there in Hyperion, which are some of them you will find it are mandatory to have it whether you are using any of the financial performance management applications, and some of them are kind of out of that you need to have only one, or even if you don't have that also still the financial management system will work. So if you look at this block, there are around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major blocks.
Okay.
Starting from the bottom is your foundation services, wherein we have a shared services and SmartView, two different blocks. These are the two different applications. First of all, let me give you an idea about the SmartView. SmartView is an Excel add-in. You might have also used it with the other Oracle products, the Excel add-ins, wherein you retrieve, where you connect to the server and fetch the data, financial data, and do some analysis offline or online, and then submit the data.
Yes.
Is that fine?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. So that you understand. Now coming down to the shared services. Shared services is a set of services which is available in the Hyperion system, and these are called as shared services because these are the set of common services which is going to be utilized across all the Hyperion applications. It doesn't matter whether you are working on the financial applications or the planning applications or a strategic finance application or a profitability and cost management or a performance scorecard. Any of these applications, there are certain set of services which has to be utilized along with the these applications. So why we call it as a shared services also? Imagine a scenario where you have a financial management as well as a planning both being utilized by the organization. So there will be a set of services like user creation, access level, and all that will be defined and will be utilized across the both the applications created once in the shared service. So that's the reason these services are called as a shared services. So now moving down to the next block, on top of that is a data management, where we have around data relationship management, data integration management, and a financial data quality management. Here these three items or these three tools are being utilized to create the data management in the system when we are exporting the data when we are pulling the data into the Hyperion system, and at the same time we are using this these tools are basically utilized to monitor, maintain, and validate the quality of the data, because we want only we want only that the data which is going into the system should be meaningful and should be logical and should be quality data. So that particular thing is maintained by utilizing these three. Out of these, any of these three systems, you can use it for the purpose. So these are the few things. Mostly with HFM, what we have been using is your financial data quality management, where we maintain the quality check of the data by putting some validation checks and by putting some constraint checks and making sure that the right data goes into the system. Then we have a reporting analysis block, where we have, you can see, a lot of 4 blocks: interactive reporting, web analysis, financial reporting, SQL production reporting. So these 4 blocks are basically being utilized by the system for doing extra reporting or better reporting or deep reporting analysis of the data, which HFM, because we have to remember here one thing, that any of the Hyperion applications, when we speak on the top block performance management application, has got some basic inbuilt reporting mechanism. But what happens is that inbuilt reporting mechanism is not sufficient enough. In that case, we try to utilize any of these reporting system interactive reporting, web analysis or financial reporting, or SQL production reporting for doing the reporting analysis. Out of this, the most commonly used reporting tool along with any of the Hyperion applications is the financial reporting, or we also call it as a FR, Hyperion HFR or FR, whatever few people call it as FR or few people call it as HFR. Now on top of that, you can see in an Essbase block. Essbase block is more, it's a type of a cube which will be utilized mostly by the planning application to have a better when we are doing a planning and budgeting and forecasting. These cubes plays a crucial role in providing them with the access, providing them with the better perspective of the with respect to the historical data, with respect to dimensional analysis, with respect to the three-dimensional access, or which helps the users to have a better understanding of the better budgeting and forecasting done based on these cubes. So these cubes are Essbase. Since we are working on the financial management application here, so so we will not be focusing on the Essbase part. Rather, we will be focusing on mostly with the application part of the financial management. Then on top of that, there is a block of the financial management, performance management application, wherein we have a different Hyperion products involved. Out of that, we will be working on the first item there, which is a financial management. Any questions here?
Just want to understand for the HFM, what is the like database layer? Is it not Essbase or it is something else?
It is not Essbase. It will be normal your RDBMS, Oracle RDBMS, or SQL. You can use it.
Okay, so
Essbase is mostly 99.9%. You will see, yeah.
Suppose if I pump in the data from, if I want to pump in the data from Oracle database or SAP database, for example, to HFM actually. So the data which I am going to pass it on will be based in which layer actually, which database layer?
See, here there is no database layer. I'll speak to you on to that, wherein for your question, see, if you look at this diagram, product architecture diagram, can you see it?
Yes.
Here you can see that we have studied that this application is this product is designed in a 3-tier architecture, which has got a database layer, application layer, and a client layer. So in the database layer, I have an RDBMS, 2 RDBMS. One is the architect RDBMS and one is the financial management RDBMS. So on the architect RDBMS, I will be storing all my dimension, its hierarchies, and anything related to the dimension account, or those what I say account, entity, time, scenario, whatever we will be speaking about 8 system defined dimensions and 4 user defined dimension. And financial sorry, and the financial management RDBMS will be storing your application part and the real-time data part. So both architect RDBMS and financial management RDBMS will work together to give you a view at a client level, whether it's Excel based or whether it's a browser based.
Oh, okay, fine.
So here, this is about I was just wanted to have you an idea about what are the different Hyperion product components. We have it in our hand, and whether you use it or not use it, it is up to the organization needs, and it is up to the project need, or it is up to the company need, how the company has proposed the solution. So based on that, out of this, we will be pulling out different components, but definitely foundation services are the mandatory one, and after that, data management, reporting analysis, or whether you use it or not use it, that's up to you. And from on the topmost layer, at least one of the applications will be utilized to do the Hyperion applications. Where it depends upon what type of implementation we are doing. We are doing it HFM implementation, planning, or whatever. So now, I think this need not to be explained to you because you are a finance guy. Why? What does the financial management means? You want me to take through, or you
No,
you have an idea?
Yeah,
okay. So now again, this is This is a financial consolidation reporting analysis layer. I mean, a process which has been explained over here. How does it works? So, I mean, you work on a consolidation, so you will have a fair amount of idea, but still, I will explain it to you with respect to the Hyperion. So, at a base level entities, the monthly forecast, annual budget, or financial consolidation is happening, which is going on to the regional level for the approval or rejection or monitoring purpose, wherein the regional level will be either they can, based on their understanding and what they want to during the review process, either they can review it or reject it. If they reject it, then it again goes back to the local level with their comments to improve on that, to rectify certain errors or the problems which they have identified, and then resubmit it. If they approve it, then at that level also the consolidation will be executed, adjustment entries will be passed, and then that will be passed on to the group level or a central level. There your central or the topmost finance team which is sitting at the headquarters will again do the same process what the regional level has done it. Apart from that, if they find out everything is working fine, they not only they have to do the consolidation, also they have also to work on the intercompany eliminations if there is an intercompany transaction happening within the group companies, and currency translation if the companies, if their business is operating across the globe in different countries in a multi-currency environment. Once that is done, then they will publish the report to the adhering to the legal obligations, adhering to the taxation obligations, to treasury obligations, and report for the topmost management, which they can discuss is in their management meeting, that how the company's performance is as on date. So this is how our financial consolidation reporting analysis will work out.
Is it mandatory that the consolidation should work only in this manner? Suppose I have an organization where which is not located in multiple regions, or there is no local region. Then
so only one consolidation you have it. You can do it.
Like one country, I mean like multiple countries only I have the consolidation actually. Okay, so like multiple countries I have the operation actually. At only one place I'm going to do the consolidation, that's all. I don't have local, regional, central.
You can do it now. In that case, you might be getting data from all the places and you are doing it at the group level one consolidation, right?
Yeah, group level consolidation.
You can do it. That's what I said. This is this process which you see it over here is a very ideal scenario. It is up to the organization how they want to create the application, how they want to utilize the application. They say that no, I will only use it at the top level, and the rest of the people will be doing the entry into the data and are feeding the data into the system. You can do it. Okay. So now, some of the product components which we will be using here is SmartView, shared services, and a financial reporting. Financial reporting is an optional component. Whether you use it or not, it is up to the organization needs. And why it is optional, I'm saying that because it's a licensing issue will come into the picture out of these three products. Rest of the two products, SmartView and shared services, will come along bundled along with the financial management product. But when it comes to
as a bundled, okay.
Yeah. When it comes to the financial reporting, you have to buy a separate license copy for that.
Okay.
Now, I was here and I explained to you how the three-tier architecture works for the Hyperion. So that's how we'll be talking. You can see it's a database layer, application layer, and a client layer. So database will have two RDBMS, architect RDBMS and financial management RDBMS. Architect RDBMS will be talking to the performance management architect dimension server, where all your dimensions will be created and stored, and will be this server will be only taking care of the dimension and its members, and this server, financial management server, will be taking care of all your financial views, financial results, financial management data, and everything. These two together, along with the help of the web services, will making sure that the user is able to view the data whether through the Windows client or through the browser client. It doesn't matter to them. So that's how this product architecture is designed. Some of the other related Oracle products are like, as I said, Essbase, Web Analysis, FDQM, or Oracle Data Integrator. So Essbase is used mostly with the planning. Web Analysis is used as a tool which is mostly utilized for the data analysis purpose. FDQM, I have explained to you that it is to more of the make sure that the quality data is going into the system. And then we have an Oracle Data Integrator, or ODI, which we call it, for the data integration from different source systems at one place. So in summary, you have got the fair understanding or idea about the Oracle Enterprise Performance Management System and product bundled with what are the different products bundled with the financial management, what are different features of financial management, and some of the product architecture of the financial management. So these are a few things which we have got. Any questions you have it here?
No, if you don't mind, can you just take it to this one slide where I am still not 100% confirmed? Probably sometime I don't understand. That architecture diagram, can you take it? Like, I think I'm still not that much clear.
Okay, you're talking about this bill, please. This one.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so now here what you don't understand.
So what is this architecture, the RDBMS and financial management RDMS?
Now this architect
have the master data or?
No, I'll tell you. This, if you look at this architect RDBMS, it is talking to the performance management architect dimension server. On top of that, where there, if you can see in the application layer. Whatever user is going to create as a dimension, its hierarchy, its member, modifying the dimensions, modifying the hierarchy, modifying, adding the dimensions. When I'm saying dimensions, your chart of accounts, your entity, your period, your those things I'm talking about. So all those things with the help of this server, a performance management architect servers comes and gets stored in the architect RDBMS.
Okay.
And then whatever views we are creating, data from, data grids, or data which we are storing it, will be stored onto the financial management server, wherein the data is getting here stored in the financial management RDBMS. So any value which is coming onto the system is getting stored in the financial management RDBMS, and whenever the user fires a query through the web server, it will come to the financial management server as well as to the performance management architect dimension server to identify the relevant dimension hierarchy dimension members, as well as based on this will go here to fetch the values from here, and this will fetch the dimension and its hierarchies from here, and together they will go with the help of web services to show it to the user, whether the user is viewing the same thing through the Excel or through the browser client, web-based client.
Where is the master data actually?
Master data, what you are talking about, will be stored in this. Data means you are talking about the actual numbers, right?
Yeah, numbers which I pushed from SAP or Oracle.
This will come here in the financial management RDBMS.
So architect RDBMS will...
That only stores the dimension and its hierarchies, nothing else.
So why we have separate database only for those dimensions?
Because because we need to create the hierarchies separately. This will have a hierarchy. If you look at, if you can have it like, imagine that your how should I say? Let's say entity. You will have it group. Then you will have a geographical, or you can have the service based, or you can have the customer based grouping of the entities. So those things, those different to have a better slicing and dicing of the data, I am creating those dimension and hierarchies. So that is getting stored separately, because RDBMS doesn't store in data in the hierarchical structure. It will store in the, what you call it as a technical way, base level or a node level data. So that to make sure that the hierarchy is perfect and working correctly as per the structure given by the organization of the customer, we have this separately. But you will, when we are working on the system, you will never realize that these two things are separate. You will feel that always that these two things are together, working together, because these two will go hand in hand when we are working, when we are creating the financial results.
Oh, okay.
So anything else you want to know?
I think this is fine. Yeah, now I understand better.
Okay, fine. So what I wanted to do today is that already I was late, so if you can excuse me for today, from tomorrow onwards I will log in.
No issue, not at all. I understand.
No, I got delayed. See, no issues not, and I got delayed, so I have to say sorry for that. So because of my machine issues. So if you're not having any issue with the Saturday, Sunday, so we'll continue tomorrow also at same time, 8 o'clock.
Saturday, I mean tomorrow day after, we can have it a little bit earlier also if you are okay. I have no issue.
No, you tell me. See, it's really, mine is always a morning time, so I can get up and do it for you.
Oh, okay. No. That is what I'm saying. Saturday, Sunday, your choice. Okay, I can give it to you. We can have it a little bit early also. Only on the weekdays, because I might come from office like a little bit late. So that is the reason.
So tomorrow, you want me to do it around what is your current time?
Now it is 8.
8, so 8, 7. Your 8 means.
Or same time is also. I'm okay.
Yeah, leave it for the same time. Not an issue.
Okay, then no issue.
Yeah.
No issue.
Leave it for the same time.
Okay, okay. I mean,
Okay.
if you have any issues on the GoToMeeting, we can create a WebEx or anything. I have no issue.
No. I'll work it out. It will work from tomorrow onwards. It's not what the GoToMeeting issue. It was more of my IE issue, which was getting crashed down quickly.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's not the getting into a GoToMeeting. The moment my IE got restored, it within a minute it got added onto the system.
So HFM, we can see it from tomorrow, is it?
Right. We'll start working on the HFM only, demos, flash, quiz, and all that, so that you can have a better understanding, better idea, and what we have, what HFM does.
No, but in general, like final question, what are the basic or key things which will be there in the HFM actually, other than the consolidation and intercompany limitation and journal entry?
Your data forms, data grids, high dimensions, your different dimensions, whatever I explained it to you on the course content, which you said that you can go through it later on, everything will be explained. I mean, when you work on, you will see that, okay, this is okay, I have worked already on. This is okay, I have done already. So you can
I just trying to understand what is the big difference between, other than the consolidation, is something else this HFM offers, like, other than the basic reporting which is allowed in the HFM.
See, it's other than consolidation, it offers you a consolidated view of your corporate performance management or performance management analysis of the finance data. Because most of the time, people, if you don't have any system like this in place in your organization, most of the time people will be working on your on the different Excels and consolidating at the different levels, and then viewing it, which takes more time, and which gives you may give you the right data or may not give you the right information. So to save time, to have quality of the data in your system or in the process to have financial data analysis, we say that you should be using any of these consolidation systems. If you're asking me what extra it will give me, extra is that quicker, faster, efficient, effectiveness, those things will be there, which you may not get it when you're using it, when you're doing it through the Excel based or any of the through the manual process of consolidation.
Well, because I'm trying to just compare with the regular consolidation, this what else this.
Okay. So because I don't know, I don't know, but what I can do, I can compare it and give you one slide which will tell you what exactly is the difference. That I can do it. If you want.
Okay.